The motorcade moves slowly through streets lined with thousands of people waving flags they were ordered to wave. You're sitting inside the third vehicle, dressed in his suit, his haircut, his shoes. Your hands rest flat against your thighs because they trained you to stop fidgeting. Your face holds the expression they practiced with you for months. Calm authority, slight weight behind the eyes. The kind of look that makes crowds feel both inspired and afraid. Somewhere in another vehicle ahead of you, the real man watches a monitor showing your performance. And somewhere in the crowd outside, someone may already be waiting.
You never chose to look like him. That part happened long before any decision was yours to make. Somewhere inside a government building you will never visit, a photograph of your face landed on a desk beside another photograph. Someone studied both images carefully and made a quiet phone call. Within days, men arrived at your door wearing expressions that left no room for questions. They weren't asking, they were informing you that your life was about to change completely. And in North Korea, when the state informs you that your life is changing, you say thank you. The selection process sounds almost scientific when described from the outside. Similar height, similar bone structure, similar weight distribution, they measure everything. The width of your jaw, the distance between your eyes, the exact curve of your ears. Features most people never think about become the entire reason your existence suddenly has value to powerful men. In 2017, footage emerged showing Kim Jong Un casually standing beside men dressed identically to him. Same black suit, same signature haircut, same deliberately chosen silhouette during a missile demonstration. The world briefly noticed, then moved on, but for the people standing in that footage, nothing about that moment was casual. Nothing about any of this is casual. The transformation begins immediately, not gradually. Immediately, surgeons arrive, not to ask whether you want surgery, to perform it. Subtle adjustments, a nose reshaped, a jawline softened. Hairline carefully altered to match photographs they bring to every appointment. You study your face in a mirror afterward and notice something deeply uncomfortable. The person looking back seems familiar, but wrong. Like seeing your reflection in water that keeps moving. They take photographs weekly, comparing your new face against the reference images they carry everywhere, nodding sometimes, adjusting other times. You learn quickly that your appearance no longer belongs to you. Then the behavioral training begins, and this part is harder than surgery. They study him constantly. Every public speech, every recorded walk, every filmed handshake and nod and pause between words. You watch the same footage hundreds of times until his movements start feeling more natural to you than your own, the way his shoulders carry weight, the angle his chin rises when he wants to project authority, the exact rhythm of his steps when he walks across a stage with cameras rolling. His mannerisms become your curriculum. His habits become your homework. Instructors correct your posture mid-sentence. They stop you mid-step to adjust the angle of your foot. You practice sitting in chairs the way he sits, standing near windows the way he stands. Even the silence between words is rehearsed until it feels deliberate rather than nervous. Your voice is the most difficult part. Months pass before they consider it acceptable. Meanwhile, your old life quietly disappears. Friends stop existing in any meaningful way. Family members receive careful explanations about your new role that reveal almost nothing while making refusal impossible. Your personal history gets reviewed, cross-referenced, documented, not because they're protecting you, because they need to understand every vulnerability, every attachment, every person who might someday become a problem. The state doesn't employ doubles because it trusts them. It employs doubles because it can control them completely. Your children's futures, your parents' safety. Everything you love becomes part of an unspoken agreement that never required your signature. The psychological weight of this settles slowly. At first, the role feels almost manageable. Public appearances are controlled, routes planned weeks in advance, crowds carefully managed so that no one approaches close enough to notice small imperfections. You learn to read environments quickly, to notice things trained security teams notice, where people are standing, which direction exits face, which angles cameras cover, and which angles remain blind. This awareness becomes constant, automatic, a second layer of perception operating underneath every moment of every public appearance you perform. But awareness and safety are not the same thing, because the entire reason you exist is to absorb whatever comes first. Nobody says this directly, nobody has a conversation with you about what your role fundamentally means. But the understanding arrives without words. You are sent into spaces before he enters them. Your motorcade vehicle moves through the route first while sensors and security scan every window and rooftop along the path. You stand where he will stand 20 minutes later while teams confirm the environment is manageable. You walk through doors he will walk through after someone confirms the room beyond is safe. Your presence functions as proof that the moment won't kill him. You are the test. He is the result. That thought visits you in quiet moments. At night, when training finally ends and the room you sleep in feels too silent. During meals where nobody at the table makes conversation that feels genuine. You sit with the understanding that your physical similarity to the world's most dangerous man is simultaneously the reason you are valuable and the reason you are expendable. These two facts cannot be separated. They exist together permanently, the way shadows exist permanently attached to objects they follow. The performance itself becomes its own kind of torment, standing in crowds of thousands waving flags and screaming loyalty they were instructed to feel. You experience something deeply strange. They believe they are looking at him. Their emotion is real even if the reason for it isn't. Children who will remember this moment for decades are watching your face and feeling something profound about a person who isn't standing where they think he's standing. The weight of that deception becomes physical after enough time, something you carry in your chest during every public moment, growing heavier with each appearance you perform successfully. And every successful appearance leads directly to another assignment. Because you survived the last one, weeks pass, months pass. The lines between your identity and his begin blurring in ways nobody warned you about. You catch yourself unconsciously holding your shoulders the way he holds his while sitting alone in an empty room. His walking pattern surfaces in your feet during moments when no performance is required. Mirrors become uncomfortable because the face looking back carries too much of someone else in its expressions. Your own laugh sounds foreign to you now. Your own resting expression feels borrowed. Psychologists assigned to monitor your stability ask careful questions during regular evaluations. They're not assessing your emotional health, they're assessing your operational reliability. Whether the psychological stress is affecting your performance quality, whether the constructed identity is holding together well enough to continue working. Your actual internal experience interests them only to the extent that it might compromise the next appearance. You learn to perform wellness the same way you perform everything else now. One evening, intelligence reports arrive suggesting a credible threat connected to an upcoming public event. The security briefing is thorough but delivers one uncomfortable fact without directly saying it. The event will proceed, the appearance will happen, and you will be in the motorcade. In the car before the route begins, the silence is different from normal silence. Your hands rest flat against your thighs, your face holds the right expression, your breathing stays controlled because they trained it to stay controlled. Outside the window, thousands of people line streets holding flags, generating the enormous sound of a crowd performing devotion. And somewhere in that enormous sound, you understand that absolutely nobody out there knows your name. They don't know your history. They don't know what you looked like before the surgeries. They don't know about the family you rarely see anymore or the person you were before men arrived at your door carrying photographs. To them, the face in the window represents supreme power over an entire nation. Every one of them would be utterly astonished to learn how ordinary the face actually is, how frightened, how human. The motorcade moves forward. your hands stay flat, and somewhere ahead of you, a man watches a monitor showing your performance, while someone in the crowd decides whether today is the day. The world never learns the names of people like you. History doesn't record what it cost. Outside those borders, people argue endlessly about the man whose face you borrowed, studying photographs for inconsistencies, debating teeth and ears and hairlines on screens in distant countries. They turn the whole thing into a puzzle to solve, a conspiracy to debate. But from inside the motorcade, it was never a conspiracy, it was just a Tuesday. And somewhere above a desk in a building you'll never visit, another photograph is already being compared to yours.